Okay, I'm not gonna switch screens because I was supposed to hide the model and I forgot to do that. So we're just gonna be here for a bit. And hello, hello, how are you doing? I'm not doing so well because honestly, I'm freaking out a little bit. Initially, this stream was supposed to be yesterday, on Halloween, but then my internet stopped working because my luck is amazing. And now, for some reason, I am freaking the fuck out because today has just been a roller coaster, and I'm just like, man, if this stream also goes to hell, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Do you ever get that feeling that you just want to pull your hair out because you're so stressed? I'm kind of like at that stage. But yeah, we're just gonna pretend that today it's still Halloween. Okay, we're just gonna pretend it's still Halloween and nothing went wrong and stuff. And I need to stop. I mean, I will stop taking deep breaths once I've calmed down because, like, literally, I can feel my heart racing and there's like butterflies in my stomach, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I don't think I'm gonna do another outfit reveal after this because, my god, this is freaking me out. Anyways, like I said last time when I was discussing the Halloween outfit, I did say that I did ask everybody to guess what they thought it would be. Jeet said butterfly, Sue said vampire. So right now we only have these two options. If you guys have any other options you'd like to throw in, go ahead, and then I think in like 10 minutes we'll do the reveal or something. Dude, you don't even know. Like yesterday, I went to sleep and I was like, okay, I can't wait, right? I couldn't stream because I had to work overtime, and then I was like, okay, we'll make up for it during the Halloween stream, and I was so hyped for it, and I went to bed, and everything was fine. Like my internet was working, and I went to sleep. And then I wake up, like in the darkness of my room, I can see like this red light on my router, and I'm just like, this better not be what I think it is. Like, you better not be messing with me this way. And sometimes, when there's a red light on my router, turning it off and then on helps. Usually, when people tell me to turn it off and on, it kind of pisses me off because I'm like, listen, I'm not an idiot. But with this one, it does help. So I did that. And I just stared at my router. I'm just like watching the lights come on. Green, green. And I'm like, yes, yes. And then one of them goes red. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. I immediately did put in a request to get it fixed. But unfortunately, by the time I woke up, it was already pretty late. It was like after 7:30 p.m. So I couldn't, so nobody could come and fix it. So I knew this was like the stream was done for. Hi, Farah, how are you? Because again, it was after 7:30, so no one like the technician couldn't come out the same day. Like, and literally the whole day, like the whole night, actually for me it was night, the whole night I was just sitting there, like every half an hour I just look at my router, like, is the light still green, is the light still red, because I was just hoping that it would start working, because sometimes I've seen it happen, like for some reason the internet won't work and then later on in the day it would start working on its own. But nothing happened, so I had to make the decision to delay this stream. And since then I've been like all over the place. Like, I think with me, one of the biggest issues is that I have a particular idea of how I like things to go. And when things don't go that way, I become a nervous wreck, because it's just like, I'm not very good at improvising on the spot. It throws me off. I need details. I need a plan. My anxiety. So, yeah. Anyways, so I was actually worried that they wouldn't be able to fix it today either, because it is Saturday. And like, what if like they're like, hey, it's a Saturday, so we're gonna be on break, we'll come back on Monday instead, which would, yeah, that would have really ruined things for me, because then I would have just given up. I'd just be like, man, screw this, we'll try again next Halloween. But thankfully, when I woke up today, the internet was working and all was right in the world. Kind of, not really, but it's better than nothing. I've been, like, literally the whole day, I've just been in bed. Like, anything I did, I just had, like, this feeling in my stomach. You know that butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling? But instead of, like, something, you were just like, oh my god, something amazing is gonna happen. It's just like, oh my god, the worst is gonna happen. I feel so sick. I was feeling that way the whole day. I don't get positive butterflies in my stomach. No, no, no. It's always butterflies with a nice dose of anxiety. Oh, love that for me. I did try to distract myself by watching random stuff, but it really did. Like, once my mind gets locked into something, like, okay, this is this particular thing, I'm gonna be stressed about it. It doesn't let go. So I was super stressed. It was not fun. I don't want to do that again. I mean, I'm saying that don't want to do that again, but I'll most likely will, because I love new outfits. So, like, I like reaching out to my artist and go like, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to work on it? Like, I did, I think, throw around 2 ideas while this particular, like, they were working on this particular design. And so, in short, I am my worst enemy. Like, I know a particular situation is gonna stress me out, but I do it anyways. I don't know why. Maybe like a part of me thinks that the more I do something that stresses me out, the less stressful it will become with time. But that never happens. Because, okay, I'm doing something stressful today, and then there's a long break, right? So when I do that stressful thing again, all that experience from the first time has just gone away. it's just like new stress all over again. It like the same situation happens when when I'm streaming. Like if I take a break from stream, like if I'm streaming every single day like regularly, I'm not so like the nervousness kind of goes away. It's kind of still there, but it goes away after some time. But if I take a break, even if it's like 2 days or like when I go on vacation, so I take a 1 week break and I come back, it's back to square one. That makes sense. It's wonderful living as me, just being, just constant stress, no breaks. I mean, I want to say that recently I've become more relaxed because I'm more used to streaming now, but then I do things like, well, this outfit reveals, and I'm just like, oh, great. Stress, we're back again. Okay, it has been. It's okay. I'm gonna go do 2 more minutes before the reveal. So if anyone wants to make any guesses about what the outfit will be, now is your time. We till now have two options. One is a butterfly, and the other is a vampire. So, yeah, there is no prize for the winner, just applause, and we boo the loser. So, yeah, what the hell do I have in my. What is this? For some reason, you know one of those phone pins that you have so you can take out your SD card or something? I had one of those in my hand for some reason. I don't even know why. I don't know where this came from. Who does this belong to? Because it's not mine. I know that much. But I had it in my hand. I didn't even realize it. This whole time I'm just sitting here and yapping and poking my hand with something. And then I'm just like, what is this? And I look down and it's just like those phone pins, and I'm just okay. I don't know where you came from, but okay. Is it my? I mean, I don't think it is. I usually put my phone stuff away. I meant to ask this before, but what inspired you to start VTubing? Uh, I think in 2020, like 2020, when the pandemic started, I was kind of all alone because at that time I was in another country for college, and I was rooming with two other people, but they both went home when the pandemic started because their homes were close by. Like it was like a 1 hour, half an hour plane ride for them, but for me, it would be like a 5 hour plane ride, and I didn't know if I would be able to come back or when I would be able to come back, and it was very expensive, like going back and forth. So after speaking to my family, I decided to just stay in my hostel, and my roommates went away, and like pretty much most of the hostel was also empty, and I was pretty lonely at the time. And I used to like this was around the same time when Among Us really blew up. So I used to watch a lot of streamers playing Among Us, and I think that was around the time when I started streaming as well. It kind of became a way for me to kind of just hang out with my friends. Like they would always come and watch my streams and kind of support me. And at that time, we all had much more free time because we weren't like I wasn't working, I was in college, my friends were also in college, so we had more time on our hands, and it kind of became a way for us to hang out. And then I discovered VTubers, and I was like, holy shit. You mean to say I can be an anime? And that's kind of how I switched to VTubing. Before I was just like I used to do faceless streams, just like my voice, and then I switched to VTubing with like this PNG that one of my friends made for me. Then my art parent, who's the person who's been doing all the artwork for my VTuber model, they opened commissions, and I knew them. Like we used to talk, like we were in the same fandom, and we used to talk a lot. So I commissioned them once, and they did my initial design, and then kind of just like we went from there. And then I mean, I kind of started enjoying VTubing, and I stuck with it. It's really not like a very inspired story. Like, yes, I was going in the trenches of life, going through the worst moment when a ray of sunlight came before me, and that ray of sunlight was a VTuber or nothing like that. It's just a very basic thing. So, like when I first started, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Like, I knew nothing about VTubing culture, like things like Oshis and stuff like that. No idea. Debut stream? Graduation? What the fuck is that? I had no idea. So, I used to be super super awkward. I think you can find those streams I did upload the words here on YouTube, so you can like look at my older videos. I'm awkward now as well, but I was like even more awkward back then because again like I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just yapping all the time. Like I am yapping now, but it was more incoherent yapping. And obviously, I had like a terrible, terrible mic, so there was a lot of me screaming at Zhongli with a lot of static. Zhongli. So yeah, that was basically the start of my VTubing journey. Gosh, now that I think about it, it's been so long. Okay, it has been 16 minutes, so let's do the reveal. Please don't screw this up. That is something I'm saying to myself, not you guys. I'm telling myself, don't screw this up. So, yeah, the two guess options were butterfly and vampire. And I have to say, vampire wins. Sue really knows me because like with the way I talk about vampires, like it was so obvious that's what it was gonna be. I love those little guys with their fangs and their bloodthirst. Okay, okay. Let me just show the iconic. I know, right? I have to say, like, most of the credit for this design goes to my art parent because what I gave them was a Pinterest folders with random shit in it. Like, it was like, hey, I like the look of this, and I like the look of that, and I like the look of this. Can you work with this? And then they're just like, yeah, hold on. And I think within 2 days of starting the commission, they sent me out so many sketches with different ideas, and I was just like, holy shit. Wait, let me show the full thing. Yes, here it is. This is the full design. So, this is kind of like what always happens. I have like a very basic idea of what I want, and then my art parent is like, hold on, I got you. Not even a basic idea, actually, it's a very jumbled idea of what I want. I'm just like, okay, I just have like different elements that I fall in love with, and I have in my head, I don't have a very good way of putting those elements together, and I just like tell my art parent, here, please, these are the things I want. Can you work with that? And then they whip up a design. Always grateful for that because, I mean, if I had to work with someone and they're like, hey, you need to give me a much more clearer idea because these elements do not work, I think I would have a breakdown, just fall apart because I can't put this shit together. I don't have an aesthetic bone in my body. What are you talking about? But yeah, I'm super grateful for them for working with me on this because, like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, and they clearly have a good idea. Okay, let's zoom in over here. So initially, I had asked, I was thinking of something more like gothic Victorian vampire sort of a thing, like a blouse with a skirt and everything. But then my art parent, they sent me three designs and they were like, hey, so this is what I've come up with. Let me know what you think. And one of those designs was basically closer to my original, the original model that I use. And like this, there were puff sleeves and it kind of just looked like the sleeves were kind of, how do I explain this? It kind of looked like the black was devouring the white outfit, which I kind of fell in love with. So that's how we ended up with these sleeves. I don't know if I'm making much sense when I speak, but yeah, this area here. And yeah, I want to give another shout out to my art parent because this lace design, they did that all by hand. And I was like, how did you? I don't even know how they did it. They did it all by hand. Then, obviously, the iconic flower. The flower is necessary. That's like a big part of the design. So basically the idea was to switch up the flower to something different this time. The last one was hydrangeas, and this one was like a red black dahlia. I know that's like a weird way to put it, but yeah. And then of course we have the skirt over here and feet. I have feet this time before anyone goes like, hey, feetless VTuber. I have been called that before. I have feet now. And you're all getting to see them for free. For now. But yeah. So, like I said, my art parent gave me like multiple options for designs, and basically we picked like random, like different stuff from each design that they had that I liked, and then they put that all together. And obviously, the butterflies, very, very important. And yes, that is the Halloween outfit. I'm very bad when it comes to explaining things. Just know that I am like, hyped. I was so hyped. And they like when they shared the initial design. I could cry, genuinely speaking. Like, I could burst into tears right now and start crying. I won't do that though, that would be weird. But yeah. Okay. Give me a second. Right. So for Halloween, the plan this time was not even this time. I think this is something we do every year during the Halloween stream where we share scary stories. So I want to do that this time too. Though it's so unfortunate, I really, really enjoyed last time. I think we read through like a lot of creepy pastas, and that was really fun. But it's so unfortunate that most of the stuff on creepypasta is just now AI, and it doesn't read well. It's just, see, there's something iconic about stories that are so poorly written with so many grammatical errors, but there's like, there's still like some kind of a charm to them because they kind of like, they're not very coherent, but they have a certain charm to them. Because you know that someone, like the person who wrote this, they couldn't proofread it, but they had passion for it. Oh, wait. There's one thing I want to show. Hold on. Wait. I know it doesn't make like a lot of sense about what I'm doing right now, but wait, I'm showing you guys. Okay, when I speak, it's not very It's still not very clear. I can't make this bigger, unfortunately. But when I speak, basically, my model has 10 little fangs. As a vampire should. I just wanted to show that off. Like, hey, look, I have fangs. I mean, what kind of vampire doesn't have fangs, you know? If you don't have fangs, then how are you supposed to drain people of their blood? That's a weird thing to say. FBI agent watching this, please understand. I don't actually drain people of their blood. That's icky. Ugh. But yes. So I was looking at creepy pastas, and unfortunately, like I said, not a lot of good stuff left. I mean, you have your Slender Man, which we did last time. You have your Jeff the Killer is kind of meh, to be very honest. I haven't ever been a fan of Jeff the Killer. He's very like, okay, dude. I don't know. I don't like Jeff the Killer. Then there's Sonic the Hedgehog. We did do the Dark Sonic story last time. Then we did one that really this sleep experiment story, which really took a deep dive into cannibalism, which was odd. Understatement. And then yeah, so you know what? This time let's discuss real life horror stories. Like obviously these are like stories I've heard from other people or like stuff that's happened. I mean, obviously you can go like, I don't think that anything like ghosts are real or anything like that. That's to each his own. Whatever. I'm not here to have that debate. I also fall into this weird category of people who's just like I'm an atheist. But also when it comes to spooky things, I'm like, listen, that's not something I'm gonna mess with. Like I know it's weird. Like how can you say that? Hey, I don't believe in God, but if I'm home alone I'm alone at home at night and I hear some weird noise in a place where there shouldn't be any noise, I'm immediately gonna go, aha, ghosts. It's an odd combination, but like it's my combination. So yeah. Um So let's go with a much more like low key story, and I'm gonna do this while eating cake because I did say that if you're gonna have a Halloween stream, then there needs to be something sweet or alcoholic. And while I was gonna drink Bailey's, I decided not to because I have work tomorrow. And I don't have anything to mix the Baileys with. I did get hot chocolate, but I got I was really anxious, and I ended up drinking the hot chocolate, and it's a whole big story. Actually, it's really not. That was all. But in my head, you don't really tell a story until you take at least 3 side quests to get to the end of the story. But yeah, I got cake. Surprisingly, though, when I was looking for cake on my ordering app, there were multiple places that had Halloween themed stuff. But like we had Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme with donuts with the Halloween designs. But I wasn't feeling donuts, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Krispy Kreme because their donuts are like super, super sweet. Just not my thing. And Dunkin' is just, I don't like the Dunkin' here. So there's this place where I usually get hot chocolate from. They have like really, really good hot chocolate. Like it's amazing. It's addictive. I don't know what they put in it, but it's almost addictive. So I got the cake from there. It's not a Halloween themed cake, but it's something sweet, so it works. It's a chocolate pre. It's a chocolate salted caramel praline cake. A mouthful, but I like chocolate and I like salted caramel, so where could it go wrong? It can go very, very wrong. So let's try that. Okay, I'm gonna take my first bite of the cake and see how it is. Hmm, it's fine. Not very salted caramelly, but it's fine. It needs more caramel, in my opinion, at least. Oh, I like the crunch. Yes, I'm reviewing a cake here. So yes, spooky things. Hmm. I don't remember. I mean, it really depends on when you grew up. When I was growing up, I think one of the most spookiest things was Bloody Mary. Do you guys know who that is? If you say you don't, I'm gonna feel super old. And then I'll tell you who it is. There's so many different stories about her origin as well. I think the most famous one was like Bloody Mary was like this woman named Mary who was like super like very beautiful and very vain. Like she spent a lot of time admiring herself in the mirror because she just really loved how she looked. And she had a husband who got really tired of her shit, and he basically grabbed her by the head and smashed her face into the mirror, scarring her face. It didn't kill her, of course, but it did scar her face forever. He was so horrified by the way she looked that she jumped from a very high floor. I don't know what words I can say here on YouTube. I don't want to get banned, so I'm gonna take a very more censored route. So yeah, she jumped, and then after that, a couple of days later, when her husband looked into the mirror that he had smashed her face into, he saw a reflection of Mary, and she kind of popped out of the mirror, Freddy Krueger style, and killed him with her claws, her nails. So the story basically goes that if you say her name 3 times in front of a mirror, she will appear and she will hurt you. It's not very scary. It's just like, oh. I think they did a supernatural episode about this. But yeah, when I was growing up, like there was like a big thing about her, and like people used to dare each other to stand alone in the dark in front of a mirror and say her name 3 times to see what happens. So our school used to do this thing. We used to go on school trips. Basically, you had to pay for it, and the school would take you on a trip to another state. So I've been on like 2 school trips, and during one of those trips, I remember like so you basically you get assigned a group, and then that group has to basically stay together. Like you, every place you visit, you have to stay with your group. You're also in the same room and stuff. So um when this Bloody Mary thing happened, so yeah, Bloody Mary was like super popular in my school at the time. Like people used to talk about her all the time, and I remember we had just checked into our hotel after arriving at our destination. It was pretty late because we traveled by train, so we traveled throughout the night and through like the better half of the day. So by the time we arrived at the hotel and everybody was checked into their rooms, it was pretty late. So we all had dinner. We all went up to our rooms and we were just sitting. Like I was sitting with my friends and we were just all gossiping, as you do with your friends, when we suddenly heard somebody like scream, like screeching in absolute horror. I went out. There was this other group of girls who were just like fleeing from their room. Like, at first it was like, okay, are they like screwing with us? But like, the way these people ran, they looked genuinely terrified. So either they're like very good at acting, or like they were scared out of their mind. So we later found out that they were just screwing around in their room, and they were like trying to summon ghosts as children do in cliche horror movies. And they did the Bloody Mary thing. Like they put one person in the bathroom, switched off the light, and she said her name 3 times, and nothing happened until apparently the window started rattling, and like the person got stuck in the bathroom, like they couldn't get out. And when they did get out, they were like, "Oh, there was someone in there. There was someone in there," and they all freaked. And then again, window starts rattling, door starts rattling. They all got freaked out and they all ran away. Obviously, they told the teacher, like, "Hey, this happened. The room is haunted. We summoned a demon." And the teacher was. Now here's the thing. I went to a Catholic school, right? So obviously, when they told the teacher that, hey, we were in our rooms trying to summon the devil, she was not okay with that. She freaked the fuck out. Firstly, she was like, there's no just such thing as ghosts, but also, how dare you do things like this? I'm gonna tell your parents, you're in so much trouble. So, if they were trying to prank everyone by pretending to be scared, it really, really did backfire on them, because obviously you can't tell. Like, that teacher was a nun. You don't tell a nun that, hey, I was in my room trying to summon demons. She's not gonna go like, kids, there's no such thing as demons. She's gonna go, oh, you are so screwed. We are going to go back to the school, and I am going to call your parents and tell them what demonic things you've been doing. I don't know. It's not the scariest story, but honestly, if I was in their position, I would just like faint. I wouldn't even run. I'd just pass out. Then again, I would never be in that position because I don't mess with ghosts. I've never done Ouija boards, seances, or any nonsense like that. I'm never going to do it either. Actually, one thing, I did do one thing. Okay, hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Don't judge me on this one. When I was young, hi Sue, hi Sue, hi Sue. How are you? Also, you won the bet. So, yay! Go, Sue, go! So, like I was saying, when I was young, we used to have this one channel where they used to air a lot of anime. One of those anime was Chikoko Shoujo, Girl from Hell. And the basic concept of that anime was people, basically each episode was like a standalone, and people who have been wronged by someone would go to the Hell's website. They would type in the name of the person they want to curse, and the girl from Hell would appear, give them a straw doll, and if they put the curse on the doll, the person that they are cursing would be taken to hell. That was the basic concept of the show. And of course, if you send someone to hell, you would also be destined for hell when you die. So, being an emo teenager, actually, I wasn't even a teenager at that time. I was like 11 or 12 years old. So, being emo, my friend and I looked. There were many websites like at that time. The Hell's website, where you could type in someone's name at 12 in the night, and like my friend and I did that. Like, we were so freaked out. We were like, oh my god, what if I Enma, she's the girl name, that's the name of the girl from Hell. What if I Enma shows up? What are we gonna do? Oh my god. So one day, my friend was she was staying over at my place. We were having a sleepover, and like the amazing, like the cliches that we are, at 12 o'clock, we opened my laptop and we typed in someone's name in the Hell's website. And obviously, we had the lights turned off. because if the lights were turned on, my parents would be like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Go to bed." So the lights turned off, and then coincidentally, that night the weather had been kind of bad because like there were dark clouds in the sky, and the wind was blowing, so it was clear that there was gonna like it was gonna rain. So when we started doing this thing, suddenly the window starts rattling, and we're like, "Oh fuck, we summoned something. Is I here?" But we look around the room, there's nothing there, but the windows are rattling like anything, and then there's thunder, and then we freaked out because we're like, "Oh my god, we summoned something," and I is here to drag us to hell. She was not. It was just raining. So like that is the only time I've ever done something like this. Never, but then never after that. Like people, like someone did dare me once to do the Bloody Mary thing, and I was like, haha, no, thank you. There is no reward enticing enough for me to do something stupid like that. Okay, this cake isn't that great. I'm disappointed. There is no salted caramel. It's just chocolate and walnuts. Ugh. But yeah, anyways. I know those last two stories weren't really spooky, but you have to start like you start slow and then you build up. Oh boy. Let me think. Trying to think of what a good story to tell would be. Oh, right. Okay, this one, I think this is a good one. So, I used to have a lot of. I had this friend when I was growing up. We were like super close, and we used to have a lot of sleepovers. Like she would stay over at my place. I would sometimes stay over at her place, especially on Halloween. Halloween was like a day where I would always stay over at her place because like there was a really nice trick or treating scene. Trick or treating scene. So I remember the first time when I stayed over at her place for Halloween, it was actually a group of us. Like her sister had friends over, and she had me over as well as another friend of ours. So like there were three of us, and then three of her sister's friends. So it was kind of like a party, but not really. So we were all hanging out, like we all got dressed up. My friend and I put on like matching dresses, and then we put like blood, like fake. We used a lipstick to create like a fake blood, like fake blood on our necks, like our throat had been slit, kind of like that, and on our wrists as well. See, we didn't have a budget, so this was the most we could do for outfits, and we were taking pictures. So my the living room of my friend's house, it had like the entrance to the living room had two mirrors. Like it's like a wall, and then there are two glass thingies with like paint, like a design made on them. So we were standing in front of that when we were taking, like when her mom was taking pictures of us, and like she takes the pictures. We go off trick or treating. We get whatever we need, and we're sitting. So it was like around, I think, 2 in the night, like after we came back home to her place. We were like kind of sorting out the candy, and we were just talking, and we were in the living room, where her mom had kind of put down some mattresses for us to sleep on. So there was just the three of us, my friend, me, and our other friend. So we had taken all our candy, and we were kind of redistributing it so that everybody had like one of the same, like one of everything. We get done with that. My friend takes out like brings out her mom's digital camera. Yes, at that time we used digital cameras for this stuff. And we started going through the pictures, and we noticed like there's this one picture of me and my friend, the person that I had dressed identical to. So we're like we were standing close to each other, like we were hugging each other basically. That's how we usually post for pictures. And there in the mirror, like I told you, right, there were two classes on either side of the entry. In the class we see like there's like the reflection of a third person, and we're like, wait, what the fuck? Because of course there were a lot of people in the house at the time, but there was nobody in the living room because everyone was going out, and like we didn't know where this third person came from. So at first we were like, okay, maybe it's just like a reflection of her mom, like her mom in the mirror as she was in the glass as she was taking a picture. But then we're like, wait, that doesn't make sense because this person in the picture was pretty short. They had like their hair was open and was long. Her mom always kept her hair tied up, and her mom was short as well, but the like the way the person was dressed and stuff didn't match. So you're like, okay, that's weird. So we thought, okay, maybe it's one of my friend's sister, my friend's sister's friend. I know that was a mouthful, but but then we realized that couldn't be because again the person in the reflection was dressed in white, and the sister and her friends were dressed all in black. They were going as House of Night characters. Don't ask me why, but they were. So they were all dressed in black. And they had left before us. I was like, I see. So safe to say, we couldn't run away. We had nowhere to go. It was there was a there was a thunderstorm outside, and there was like so the balcony to the house was like on the 11th or 12th floor, and the balcony had these holes in it, so whenever wind passed through them, they made it made like a howling sound. So yeah, so we were in the living room listening to the howling of the wind, and we were like, okay, so we're not gonna be sleeping tonight because this is screwed up, and I don't want to see anything scary. So anytime any of us had to go to the washroom, all of us like held hands, went to the went together. One person would use the washroom, the other two would be standing outside guarding the door. We were so freaked out. I don't think till this day we know who that person in the reflection was. But whoever it was, no, thank you. House of Night characters, yeah. House of Night had just come out during that time. Okay, I don't think it had just come out, but it was pretty popular. And so they just all dressed in black, and they painted the moon sign and all that kind of symbols that appear on the House of Night characters. They just painted that on, and they went trick or treating. And it was so weird because every house they went to, they were like trick or treat, and that other like the person on the other end would be like, what are you? Who are you meant to be? So nobody knew. Like you couldn't expect older people, parents and stuff, to know what the fuck House of Night is, since at that time it didn't have any it didn't have any adaptation or anything. But yeah, man, they didn't even have to dress in black. They wear normal clothes. I don't know. They were all dressed in black, but nobody knew who they were dressed up as. Even at that time, I didn't even know what House of Night was. I just saw their clothes and the symbols, like the moon, like one of them painted like a half moon on her forehead, and I was just like, what the hell is this? She's like, I'm just as the characters from the award-winning book House of Night. And I'm just like, okay. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but okay. I'll believe you. Though I don't think House of Night won any awards, did it? Whatever it was, it was hilarious. Because then they had to go around explaining to everybody who they were dressed as because nobody could get it. They were all just like, who are you? What are you supposed to be? Fun times. But yeah. I think that picture is now lost to time because I'm not in touch with my most of my middle school friends, and I don't know if like my friend still has her mom's digital camera. I d- like if I went out to find my own digital camera, I don't think I'd be able to find one. I wouldn't be able to find it or even retrieve anything from it. So yeah, that picture's lost to time. And I don't think we'll ever know who that girl was. And to be very honest, I don't want to know. I'm good. Like whoever you are, I hope you're still one. No, actually, no, that's a horrible thing to say. So no, I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, huh? We don't have to figure out the truth. We also don't have to say it out loud. I'm not gonna do that because saying it out loud is like jinxing myself. It was just some lost child. Yeah, she got lost trick or treating and just wandered into my friend's house. Didn't say anything to anyone. She was probably an introvert who got dragged out by her extrovert friends, and then those friends left her behind, and she just didn't know where to go from there. Poor kid. I hope she found her way back home. Okay, let's move on to the next story. So, because of my dad's job, we used to around a lot when I was a kid. We moved in the same city, but we did move a lot, like different houses and stuff. And one of the houses that we lived in was one like it had like a garden and stuff, which was like really cool, but it wasn't like our house. Like we had to in the end change to another one after like a few years. So this house it had like a patio area where my mom put down some chairs and stuff. So one of my friends was staying over at my place. Like this was like the first house where I had like a room of my own. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have all my friends over. We're gonna do all the sleepovers, and no one can stop me. Yeah. So yeah, one time I had one of my friends over, and nearby there was like this place that they used to have movie showings. So we visited that. We had some food. Like it was around 7. The movie would start at 7 p.m. and end by 10:30 ish. Like they had like a whole dinner and stuff afterwards. So we went to watch the movie. Couldn't understand jack shit. We ate some chili potatoes. Chili potatoes were all the rage back then. Honey chili potatoes. My mouth is watering at the thought of it. So we had food, we ate, watched the movie, ate dinner, and then around 10:30 ish, we made our way back to my house. And it was just like a 5-minute walk, so it wasn't that far. So we walk back, and we enter through the front gate, and then my friend suddenly stops walking. She just stops, and she's just staring at something on the patio. I don't see anything, and I'm just like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, there's someone sitting there. And I'm like, huh? The fuck you mean? I look at the patio, nothing's there. And she's like, I swear there was a man there. And I was like, I'm like, no, there's no one there. What do you mean a man? And I'm trying to walk to the house, but she wouldn't let me go. Like, she's just like grabbing onto my arm, like super tightly. She's like, no, there was someone sitting there. You have to believe me. There was someone sitting there. And I'm like, I didn't see anything. But she was freaked the fuck out. Like, at instances like this, at first you go, like, okay, yeah, you're screwing with me. There's nothing there. But then, like, the person you talk to is so freaked out. Like, they're so freaked out. You have no choice but to believe them because, like, they are on the verge of having a breakdown because of how scared they are. And I was like, maybe it was my dad, right? Maybe he was sitting there and he went inside. Like, maybe he might have been waiting for us. She didn't believe me, but, like, it was enough to convince her to go back into the house. So we go inside, and my mom's waiting for us, and I'm just like, hey, was dad outside? And she's like, no, he went to sleep. He has work tomorrow. I was like, ah, I see. That's wonderful. Anyways, we go to my room. My friend and I are just like staying up the whole night. We're just like after something like this, you don't go to sleep, right? You're so freaked out because it's like if you switch off the light, you're gonna see something in the dark, so might as well just stay up. And then she's suddenly like, "Hey, I want to make French fries." I was like, "Okay." So we're sitting outside the kitchen, and we're like, they're just like I'm just sitting there chopping up potatoes, like peeling and chopping potatoes, wondering what the fuck is going on in my life. Why am I chopping potatoes at like 2 in the night? And of course, like every other cliche and every other story till now, it's a stormy night. The windows are rattling, lightning. There's lightning and thunder, and suddenly my friend again she stops. She grabs my arm, and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "There's someone there." I'm like, "Huh?" And I follow her gaze, and I follow her gaze, and in the doorway, it looks like a man is standing there. We scream because like now even I can see it. It was my dad. Like it was my dad for real this time. He just walks in blurry eye. Like he it was pretty obvious he had just woken up, and he just walks in. He's like, "What are you guys doing? It's 2 in the night." And I'm just like, I have one knife in my hand, a potato in the other, and I'm like, French fries. I don't know how I didn't pass out at that moment, because instead of someone telling me there was something there and me not seeing anything, I was actually seeing something there as well, and it was just my dad. Poor guy. We screamed at him for no reason. And we screamed loud enough to wake up my whole house, because even my mom and my sister came stumbling out. They were like, "What? What's going on? What's going on? Why are you screaming?" I had to explain to them that, we wanted French fries, so we were cutting potatoes, and then dad walked in and it freaked us out. And then I got into trouble for cutting potatoes at 2 in the night, so that was great. My poor dad, though. Poor guy. Not only did we disturb his sleep, because he had work the next day, so not only did we disturb his sleep, we also screamed at him for no damn reason. I did apologize to him, of course. He was pretty cool about it. And he, in fact, even made French fries for me the next day. Not that night. That night, there were no French fries. There was just a lot of scolding and sending us to bed. Though, it wasn't the first time that something weird had happened in that house. Like, of course, like the second time we saw, like my friend saw something, it was my dad. But still no explanation for who she saw sitting outside. Remember, like, I think this is a story I have shared before. But like I said, this house that we were living in, this was like the first time I had a room of my own, so I was like super excited. And so at first everything was kind of fine. Like I used to go to sleep, hang out in my room, be all like, "Yeah, I have my own room, hell yeah," and tease my sister about it. As you do when you have a sibling. Not like she didn't have a room of her own, but whatever. Likely she may have thought she saw something that wasn't there, like the brain playing tricks. Yeah, I thought that too until weird things started happening. I'm gonna explain now. So this room was actually one of the after the master bedroom. This was like the bigger room in the house, and it had like a small storeroom sort of a place as well in it, like a very tiny space that you could store stuff in. So at first it was a storeroom, but then my mom decided to convert it into like a place where she could pray in the morning. So like all her idols of God and stuff was kept in the room. which was great because then every morning my parents would just barge into my room at like 6 o'clock to pray and wake me up in the process because my mom always rings this bell thingy when she's praying, and I'm just like, great, thanks so much. Love this for me. Another thing was the room had two doors. One door that led into the like hallway, and another door that connected my room to my parents' room. This is important. So once the storeroom was converted into like a prayer room for my mom, weird shit started happening in the sense like every night when I tried to sleep, when I switched off the lights and I tried to sleep, I felt like this constant feeling, like that someone's watching me. And at first I really really tried to tell myself, okay, I'm just being paranoid. I'm just being paranoid. There's nothing there. I'm being paranoid. I'm being paranoid. But that feeling would just get stronger and stronger. And then at one point, my cousin came to live with us, so my sister had to move out of her room and we started sharing a room once again. And when she moved into the room, it kind of got worse. Like, I didn't see anything in the dark, thankfully, because if I had, I would have run away. Like, my parents would be like, please come home, and I'd be like, nah. I will camp outside from now on, thank you very much. So, and I know that's not a lot, like, it's not really freaky, it's just like your mind playing tricks on you and making you think that there's something there when there's nothing there. But when you're like walking alone and you feel like someone's watching you, and then you turn around and there is someone actually watching you, it was kind of one of those feelings. So one time I had exams and one of my cousins was getting married. So obviously I couldn't go. So my mom and my sister went instead. So it was just me and my dad at home. So it's night. I'm studying late. And again, I have this feeling that something's watching me, but this time the lights were on, and that was super weird because I usually only got that feeling when I switched off the lights. But I try to ignore it, so I switch off the lights and I try to go to bed. And suddenly something kind of slammed against the wall. So we get these geometry boxes with like a basically all the tools you need to do geometry. I can't remember anything their names right now, but they usually came in these metal boxes. So like when something slammed against the wall, I woke up. Like I was hyperventilating and I woke up and I switched on the lights, and that my geometry box is like on the floor. It was on my study table and now it's on the floor next to my bed. And I was like, screw this. I grabbed my pillow, I grabbed my blanket, and I ran out the connecting door into my parents' room where my dad was fast asleep, and I just like clung onto him like a koala bear, and he woke up. And he's just like so confused. He's like, "What? What's going on?" Because he didn't hear anything. He was like really deep in sleep. He woke up and he's just so confused, and then he just looks up and he's like, "You left the light on." But he didn't make me like go back to switch it off. He just like got up, switched off the light, closed the door, came back, and went to sleep like nothing happened. Because for him, nothing had happened, and I was just like there, like, haha, I will never sleep again. After that, I never went back to that room. Like, no, thank you. I don't know what the hell was going on. I never went back to that room. I finished high school, graduated, went off to college, and then I never came back to that house either because the next time I did come home, we'd already moved. That was fun. Nothing like that's ever happened to me again. Thank fuck. And I still, like, I keep trying to look for a logical explanation as to why that happened, but I can't find one. Because a lot of the things like the paranoia, the staring feeling, the seeing some figure sitting in the dark and stuff, you can kind of logic it away, like, oh, it's just your brain playing tricks on you. But the geometry box, unless these things now fly, I don't know how that happened. Oh boy. I think the worst part was, so after that incident happened, I basically moved into my parents' room. Again, my dad was confused, but he was just like, yeah, whatever. He never questioned these things. He was just like, you probably saw something scary, whatever. But my parents' room was the only room in the house with a TV in it. And whenever I was alone in that room, the connecting door would always open. Like it opened slowly and there would be like a creaking sound. And then it would close. Then it would open. Then it would close until, and it would keep happening until someone else walked into the room. And whenever that happened, I was like, it's just the wind, it's just the wind, it's just the wind, it's just the wind. But yeah. That was definitely the most horrifying thing I've ever been through. It's not the scariest, like, horror movie worthy. It was horrifying. I'm surprised my teeny tiny heart didn't beat so hard that I just died on the spot. Like, my heart was like, yeah, I can't take this anymore, so sayonara. Enough is enough. So I am saying that was the most horrifying. I'm not saying that was the last incident. I know I have a lot of these stories, and it's just like, bro, how many times can one person get haunted? Too many times. Too many times. What? Oh, fuck my life. Can you hear me? I don't like the fact that my mic is going in and out when I'm talking about creepy things. Hello? Okay. Oh, wonderful. What was the last thing you heard properly? Don't like this at all. It kind of reminds me of that one time. Remember when we did that whole the devil made me do it stream and weird shit started happening? Kind of reminds me of that. You were going to tell a story that horrifying, but not that horrible, then it cut off. Oh, okay, okay, okay. This happened a few years ago. So my grandparents live in a village, and they have like a pretty big house there. So my uncle's office, though, so there's the main building where everyone stays. Then my uncle's office was outside of that main building near the main entrance. So my cousin was getting married. This wasn't actually for his marriage, this was for his engagement. We have separate events for an engagement and a marriage. So for his engagement, I had gone. They'd only called a couple of people for the engagement. I was one of them. So it was me. We will refer to my cousin as the groom. My cousin's sister, the two of us are very, very close. We grew up together, so we'll just call her sister for now. And two more of my brothers. We'll call them brother. The older one of the brothers is the oldest one, so we'll call the oldest brother oldie, and the young one, and then the youngest brother, dumbass. So after the engagement party and stuff, everything happened. We all went home, took off our makeup, changed into our PJs, and dumbass called me and my sister. He called us to the. It'll make sense, trust me. He's like the clown. He's like the clown. He's always joking around, doing stupid things, and in my heart I call him dumbass lovingly. So he called us, like me and my sister. He's like, "Hey, come to the office." I was confused. We went to the office, and oldie the groom dumbass were there. They had set up like there were drinks on the table, so basically they were gonna drink alcohol. They asked me, "Do you want one?" I said no. My cousin sister also said that she didn't want to drink. Dumbass didn't drink either, so the only two people who were drinking were the groom and oldie. So basically the all like the two of them were drinking and drinking and drinking, and they were all talking and blah blah blah, and I was kind of getting exhausted of their nonsense because bro, when people get like drunk people, talkative drunk people, they're so annoying because what do you mean you're just gonna like give away your life history, like all of your secrets because you downed a few shots? Like I'm learning things about my siblings, like my cousins that I don't want to know. So at one point I got really exhausted and stuff. So one thing about my grandparents and one of my uncles is so my grandfather was a farmer, and my uncle inherited that farm from him, and he is also a farmer. So behind the house they have this stable sort of a place where all they keep all the cows. And in over here with the cows they usually put a bell on them, so it's easier to kind of keep a track of where they're going. This is important, trust me. So it's around like 3 in the night, and they have finally decided to stop drinking, and I'm like, hallelujah. So they're all cleaning up and stuff, and me and my cousin sister, we step outside because both of us were fucking exhausted by the nonsense. And we're just standing there. It's cool. It's a cool night. Moon is high in the sky, and suddenly we hear like a bell sound. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably like the cows, right? Moving around. But my cousin sister is kind of freaked out. And I'm like, why? What's wrong? And she just looks at me and she's like, you heard that? And I'm like, yeah, it's the cows, right? And she's like, yeah, so we made a new stable near the farm and the cows are there now. There's nothing here. And I'm staring at her and she's staring at me, and we hear that ringing sound again. And we're like, okay, okay. And we start walking towards the house. And we are not running, we are walking as fast as we can. We are walking, right? And I'm like, should we tell our brothers? And she's like, yeah, they'll figure this out on their own. And we just power walked back into the house as fast as we could, hearing the ringing in the distance, like, haha, this is not happening today. I don't know where that sound came from, but yeah. At first, I really thought that someone was trying to mess with us because, I mean, kids, you know. But it was 3 in the night, firstly, and secondly, not a lot of us cousins were there. Like only a few. Like there were only 4 of us attending the engagement. So it wasn't possible for anyone else to prank us because they were quite literally in other cities at the time. So unless they teleported to the village. So yeah, that happened, and we never wandered alone outside at 3 in the night. Never heard that again because of that. Then again, since my cousin's wedding, I haven't been back to my grandparents' place. So there's that. It's been a few years, but fun times, fun times, fun times. They really do believe, though, if I tell my made the right decision, don't know, don't investigate, go back. Exactly. See, horror movies teach you that when you hear a sound, you're supposed to go towards it and go like, who's there? They are wrong. No, no, no. You hear a song, you hear a sound that shouldn't be there, sweetheart. You run. You don't hear shit and run. You never go towards the sound, you always go away from the sound. Oh boy. That freaked me out. I think, like, like, with my grandparents' place specifically, like, there are a lot of stories surrounding it because apparently there was like a building there once, like in my great grandfather's time, and it all fell down during an earthquake and a lot of people died. So there are like a lot of spooky stories, like, oh, you know, there are ghosts here and this and that and blah and blah. And I mean, it's an old village. Why the hell would you go out at night in a village? That's just asking for trouble. After that, I don't think I have personally encountered anything spooky. My sister has, and like that freaked her out. My sister's like a scaredy cat. She, you know, horror stuff. She hates it. Absolutely loathes it. So like last year, she had a surgery and she had to stay in the hospital for 1 day. And then after she came back to from the hospital, weird thing like she said like weird things are happening because like she basically constantly felt like there was somebody in her room. Like one night, she like one day she was like resting and she could feel like somebody kind of like patting her back, like gently patting her back, and then they smacked like her back so hard that she woke up. So yeah, she reported all these freaky things to my mom. She was like terrified. She was freaking the fuck out. Like she was sleeping in my mom's room. She was so scared. And now they keep the I don't know, my mom consulted a panditji, a priest, basically, and he said something, and now the mirror in my sister's room is like completely covered up, which I think is bullshit, but whatever helps her, I guess. I mean, I think it's like a big big words coming from me when I just sat here like for um almost 1.5 hours just talking about all the creepy things that I've encountered. And then recounting my sister's experiences bullshit. I mean, I personally don't think the mirror is gonna do anything because, like, come on, you've been living in this house for like a couple of years now and nothing happened, and now suddenly you think that, oh, it's the mirror. It's not. If there is something, it's not the mirror. That's what I'm saying. Oh, God. I remember how dumb I used to be, and I used to be like, I want to go to spooky places. Oh, look at this abandoned place. Let's go there. And now I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to go to abandoned places. That's asking for trouble. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, that's basically all the spooky stuff I've been through. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I don't think there's nothing else. That's it. Man, I don't want to eat this cake, but also I can't stop eating it. It's weird. It's not a good cake. It's okay. But yeah, after what happened yesterday with the internet dying out and stuff, I've decided that maybe I'll need to make a Discord server after all, because I need a better way to communicate with you guys that's outside of community posts on YouTube. So I'll work on the server, but it's gonna be very limited. And also I'm gonna be locking up all the channels when I go to sleep because I don't want anything happening while I'm asleep. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Sue. I really wanted to stream yesterday, but my internet stopped working. Do you still have the pie? Which pie is it? Pumpkin? Also, please send pictures. Ooh, please send pictures. But yes, we will have a Discord server. I will work on it and then let you guys know when it's ready. But I'm gonna make it as limited as possible because it's like, to be very honest, I'm not like very big on Discord. I don't hang around there a lot anymore. And it's kind of like after streaming, like I said, I have low social battery. So once I'm done streaming, I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody as such. And Discord is kind of like my space, you know, if I am talking to somebody, it's mostly my friends. So we'll see how it goes. I've already thought of rules though. So it's gonna have a lot of rules like don't send me a friend request. I will not accept it. Don't send me a DM. I will not accept it. Like any communication that has to happen, it has to happen within the server. I am not having one-on-one conversations with anybody that is not Sue. Yeah. I wonder. I think there should. Same honestly, because I go to work, watch stream, fall asleep, and repeat these days. Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I wake up, go to work, finish work, stream, watch some like doom scroll on my phone, go to sleep, wake up, start work. It's kind of like that. Lock all Discord channels. How to lock all Discord channels? Oh, you can do that with just one button. Nice, nice, nice. Oh no, wait. That's somebody asking a question. Oh, hello, hello, welcome. Now, I feel like you're trying to ask a question. I'm not sure what it is, though. Okay, so you can lock all the text channels with a bot, but you can't lock all the voice channels. But I'm not planning to have voice channels, anyways. But yes, I will figure this out later. Now is not the time. I was so against a server, but now I feel like I don't have much of a choice because there has to be a better way to communicate stuff. As much as I enjoy just putting a stream out there and hoping for the best, I think communication is going to be important. Gonna be so busy these couple of coming weeks. Like thankfully, I don't think I'm gonna have to do any more overtime because my teammate who went on leave is coming back this week, so I'm not gonna have to deal with like her portion of the work. So I should be wrapping things up on time, but unfortunately, the US has this weird thing called daylight savings time, so everything gets pushed back by an hour. So my stream like usually I have like a half an hour gap between work ending and streaming, but now that gap is gonna go away because daylight savings. I don't get it, but whatever. I'm sorry, I just find daylight savings to be a very, very stupid concept. So, stream might get pushed to like a little later to at least like maybe um 5:15 p.m. or 5:20 p.m. because again, I do need like at least 5-10 minutes to kind of de-stress, you know, wrap up the stress related to work, and then we can then we can start stressing about stream. So like that. Though I probably will not stream tomorrow because with the wedding, my cousin's wedding coming up in December, I do have to go shopping because unfortunately I can't wear old clothes. My mother has put her foot down. She's like, "No, you will buy something new," and I'm like, "Okay, fuck this, man." So I'm going on Monday to do some shopping, so I have to sleep early for that. That should be fun. I hate shopping. I find it so annoying because I'm like wasting my time. Like my mom is one of those people who's like, okay, you should at least try something once and then see if you like it or not. And I'm like very, if I like something, I like something. If I don't like something, then that's that. uh, so I will not stream tomorrow, but if everything gets wrapped up on Monday itself, it shouldn't take me too long. I'm not big on shopping, so I should be done with it on Monday itself. So I'll be back that evening to stream. With daylight savings. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm like anytime like there's any conversation regarding daylight savings, I always feel like I'm just always so annoyed. I just don't like it. Because it really does mess up my schedule because like the rest of the world doesn't have a daylight concept. So time is the same for all of us except for those in the US. And since I work for a US based company, it really does throw everything my schedule off. Nah, I get it. I hate it too. No more daylight savings time. Down with daylight savings. Uh, you also have to figure out this whole Windows thing because they ended Windows 10 support, right? And apparently my PC isn't compatible with Windows 11, and they're like, you might consider buying a new PC, and I'm like, go to hell. I'm not buying a new PC just for this. The dumbest thing ever. So yeah, I have to figure that out. I can't buy a whole new PC just because Windows does like Microsoft decided to be annoying as fuck. I don't know. I don't want to like change paths either. I think that's so annoying because so you've come up with something that not everyone's going to be able to use, and you're just like, huh, who cares, just buy a new PC or a new computer. Like, are you going to fund this endeavor, Microsoft? Are you? Because I don't think you are. So yeah, I have to figure that out. A lot of things to figure out, not a lot of time. I'm also like I'm considering multiple things. I do want to share like my writing, but then with that I have to consider how to share it. I could just post snippets on Twitter, though I don't like using Twitter at all. I find Twitter annoying as fuck. Like Twitter is like one of those places that can ruin your entire mood in like one post. So I've been considering the places where I can just post like entire chapters and stuff. So that's something I'll need to look into. A lot to do, basically. A lot to do. But just not enough time to do it. And for all my yapping right now, I'm just like, I want to do this and I want to do that. The chances are I just don't end up doing anything at all. I'm just like, man, fuck this. Okay, one second. I need to drink water. Yeah, I have this thing where if something gets really annoying, I just give up after a while. I'm just like, man, screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. It's not worth it. Ah. But I am making like a to-do list because I want to be a good streamer and do my part. But also, part of me is like, do I really want to be a good streamer? Can't I just be the bad, lazy streamer who doesn't do jack shit? Because that seems so much more easier. I know, I know. Like, I have these bursts of inspiration where I'm like, I'll get everything done. I'll do this, I'll do that, blah, 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 blah. But then when that burst of inspiration ends, I realize that I have written down so many things in my to-do list that I feel overwhelmed and then just end up not getting anything done. So I think what I need to do is make like a list, like not like a list, but like a separate list where it's like, okay, this is one thing that I want to do, and here are the steps I need to take to do this one thing. Like I said, the Discord server, but I'm not gonna make it too difficult with themes and all that jazz because, oh god, I don't have the patience to be aesthetic. I don't have the brain cells, like the vision to be aesthetic either, but that's a topic for another time. I'm gonna keep it simple and straightforward. Server, channels, bot to local channels. The end. That's all. It's basically going to be more of a space for. It's basically just going to be a place where, like, these are the channels I make. Chat, announcement, where only I will have access. Rules, which you don't, if you don't follow, you get kicked. And yeah, I think these three channels work best. I think that's good enough. What more do you need? Oh boy. Remember my old Discord server where I had all these roles that you could obtain by chatting in the server and all these channels and stuff? Not gonna do all that jazz. Yep, that's all that's needed. Exactly, exactly, exactly. You get me, so. Oh boy. Anyways, it is now 6:30. So. Mm, let me think. So I'm not streaming tomorrow. I'll do Monday. I'll do Dota like I always do. Stress relief. Then Tuesday we will go to Twitch with Mad Father. Wednesday we come back with Fields of Mystria, which I wasn't able to do this week. Thursday back to Twitch with uh, Uma Musume. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I wanna play Uma Musume. I miss Goldship. I think I need some of that chaos in my life. But yes, I will also try to get the server done within this week so you guys can join. I'm gonna be a bit particular about entry though. You'll figure out what I mean by that once the server is made. Because again, I just want to keep it like a calm, wholesome space. I don't think I have the patience for anyone's nonsense. I'm just like all with all of the experiences I've had with the last server, I think I'm gonna be much more like stricter about this one. Just to, for my peace of mind and for everyone else's. Then once the server is done, I will consider other projects. But for now, I need to take it like one step at a time, and otherwise I'm just gonna get super super overwhelmed. I don't think there's anything else. Is there? Hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I spent my Halloween pissed off because of my internet. I hope you guys had a better time than me. Couldn't even get anything sweet because, again, I was pissed off and I knew I wouldn't be able to stream. So I was just like, man, what's the point? I'll just get whatever I need to get tomorrow or whenever I am able to stream. Couldn't even watch anything scary. I mean, I usually do watch like a horror movie or something for Halloween, but then I couldn't find anything that really caught my eye. I'd already watched Sinners earlier in the year, and the only horror movie that I found like remotely interesting was Good Boy. It's supposed to be like a story from the point of view of the dog, which I thought was interesting, but I don't think it's out on streaming yet. So I'm gonna have to wait for that. I mean, the thing about Good Boy is like I want to watch it because it's like a unique concept, but also I don't like seeing animals in distress. But I have been assured, like I looked this up, and I have been assured that nothing happens to the dog in the movie. The dog survives, which we love. We always love that because I think one of the biggest horror movie tropes is that the family will move into a haunted house and the dog would be like, no, I'm not gonna go in because it can sense the shit, and then the dog ends up dead, which sucks. Like, why can't they just have the dog run away? I mean, I get it, dogs is like, it's a loyal dog, it's not gonna abandon its master and stuff. But run away, little one, if they won't listen to you, just run away. Go far, far away. Wait, the dog survives. Cool, cool. Yes, the dog survives. I mean, he does go through stressful stuff because haunted house, but he survives. All limbs intact, no injuries. And we love that for the dog. Actually, I did check, and there are two dogs in the movie. One of them does not survive, but that's kind of like you kind of figure that out early on when the haunting starts because it was like the previous owner's dog, but the main dog survives. So that's something to consider, I guess. Also, I heard that they are planning to make another Conjuring. Like Last Rites was supposed to be the last movie, but now they're considering like a prequel movie where Ed and Lorraine are have just they've just um, started their paranormal business thingy. So they're considering like a prequel movie, which is like, can you just let it go? Just let it go. Who needs like a prequel? Like the Conjuring movies haven't been good for a while now. One was fine, two was like, I think one was like everyone's favorite, two was fine, but then three was terrible. The Devil Made Me Do It, and then four, like The Last Rise, was also not like a good movie. No, they won't. The best part, I think, is that the person who directed the last Conjuring movie, the supposedly last Conjuring movie, Last Rites, he said in an interview that this is it. This is the last movie. There won't be any other movies after this. And then, like a couple of weeks later, they're like, "Yeah, we're planning another Conjuring movie with a different director." And I'm like, "Oh boy." Like really, Devil Made Me Do It like really dropped the ball. And then I do watch a lot of YouTubers who like watch the movie and then they give their review. So I watched one of them. Her name's Amanda the Jedi. You guys should like check her out. She's pretty cool. So I watched her review of the movie, and with everything she said, it sounded ridiculous. And then, so Last Rites was also not that great, but now they've decided apparently they're just gonna do another one because that's also because Last Rites made a lot of money for them. People went to watch it considering like thinking that oh my god, this is the last one, but then yeah. At least we don't have any more Insidious movies. Insidious also, like, it just had such an interesting concept, and like they screwed it all up. I mean, I genuinely speaking, I did not mind Insidious 2. I really like the whole time travel thingy that they had in it. Not time travel, I don't know how to explain it, but I really did like the concept of it. But Insidious 3 was horrible. It was so bad. And then Insidious 4 was even worse. It's just like downgrade after downgrade. And even with that, it was very obvious that they were just trying to set up another person to lead the franchise. And then I think they recently had another Insidious 5 that ties back into like the main family, but I never saw that one, so I don't know how that went. I didn't hear really great things about it either, so there's that. I mean, it's just like, let it go, you know? You had something here, but now that you've ruined it, do you think that if you went back to the first one, it's suddenly just gonna be a success just because of that? I feel like I erased Insidious 3 and 4 from my mind because I only remember the first two. So the first two was about that one family with the kid that astral projects. The second one was about this girl who wants to be like an actress. She messes up her audition and then gets hit by a car. And it's kind of like she starts getting haunted after that by some creepy guy ghost, like some creepy ghost that lives in the same building as hers, who's trying to like take over her or some shit like that. And Insidious 4, and this was before, I don't know what's her name, the medium lady dies, so this was before that. Then Insidious 4, the last key was the medium lady again. This was before she died. No, wait, this was after she died. No, this was before she died. She goes back to her home. It's basically kind of like her origin story, like she goes back to this place called the Last Keys, where she used to live with her family and what happened there. Like, basically, she could always see ghosts when she was a kid, but her father did not believe it, and he used to punish her, like physically hit her and stuff. And so her dad was an executioner, so that's why they lived near a jail, and that's why their house was also haunted. Like, she'd see spirits and stuff there, and she could like see like she drew images of people getting executed. And I think her dad was played by one of the Skarsgård brothers. Wait, Insidious Last Key. Oh no, it's not one of the Skarsgård brothers. He's this someone else. But yeah, her dad. So basically, what happens is that there's this creepy door in the basement of her house, and after she tells him that there's something creepy in the room or something like that, her dad locks her in the basement, and then the door, like whatever's locked behind that door in the basement, tries to call out to her. And at this time, her mom comes to check in on her, and her mom gets killed by whatever thing is in the basement. And obviously, the dad blames her, the medium chick, for it. And then when she's like a teenager, she runs away from home because she's just like had enough of his abuse. Though one thing that they really point out is that the house had a lot of ghosts of girls in it. Like, there's this like one point, like the breaking point for her family was when she was a teenager and she sees the ghost of a girl in the laundry room. And when she tells her dad gets pissed off, hits her, tries to hit her, she has enough, and she leaves. And then like this is her coming back years after her dad passing away, because the current person living at that house is reporting like he's seeing creepy stuff and blah blah blah. Basically, it turns out that whatever she released from the basement possesses the person living in the house, and it makes them kidnap girls and hurt them. Because her dad, the ghost that she sees in the laundry room, wasn't actually a ghost, it was actually an actual girl who was trying to escape from the basement, but she wasn't able to because she saw her, and then the dad came in and stuff. And this person who calls them to the house for help, saying he's being haunted, turns out he was doing the same thing, and the ghosts in the house are actually trying to guide the medium chick to one of the girls who's been chained up in the basement. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and then it turns out it's like actually a demon that's doing this, making people do this, and she has to fight the demon. It's a lot. It's really a lot. It's not very good either because some of the things happening is just like, bro, what? And it tries to, like, the movie then tries to tie back into Insidious 1 in one of the scenes, and it was just, it's not a very good movie. I found the concept of a demon possessing the homeowners and making them do bad things was kind of interesting. But I feel like that's something that's also been done in movies like Amityville, where like so yeah, it wasn't that great. It was like an okay movie. Actually wasn't even an okay movie. It was like certain parts of the movie were absolutely absurd, like so absurd that just made me laugh so hard. I was like, wow, okay. Because there's literally one point in the movie where the spirit of the mother appears with a lantern and she whacks the demon with the lantern. It was so funny. I was like, oh, now we're just fist fighting demons? Okay, okay. Sure, why not? Literally, she just fights the demon with her, like hits him with a lantern, and the demon goes flying away. And I'm like, okay, sure, bro. We're doing this now. Like, I don't hate the concept of fist fighting a demon, but like, it's a weird concept to have in a movie like Insidious. Is that like that's all I'm saying? uh, I mean, life is hard, Life is hard, but it could be worse. You could be forced to watch an Insidious movie. I mean, that's something to consider. And not even the good one, the bad ones. Oh my god. Anyways, it's 6:45 now, so I think it's like a good place to start wrapping up because people are gonna start waking up and it's gonna get noisy. And also, I need to eat something other than this cake. It's really not good. It's kind of making me sick. Ugh. It's so sad. Like, a lot of people just do not understand the concept of salted caramel. They just like put in basic caramel and they're like, oh, look, salted caramel. And I'm like, no, where is the salt? I know that's a stupid thing to crib about, but if you're advertising something as salted caramel, it needs to be salted caramel. I know it's like one of my favorite things. I love salted caramel. Fortunately, not many places get it right. I feel like they put in like a pinch of salt, but like the quantity of that salt is so less that you just can't taste it, and then that kind of defeats the purpose of it. Whatever. Anyways, I will be wrapping things up here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for like sitting through my nervous rambling in the beginning because really I have been super excited for this stream and like I was really, really nervous that I would mess it up. So thank you for hanging out with me as I kind of like got through that. And I will be using this particular design at least until the end of the month because I want to get the most out of it. But yeah, thank you again for hanging out with me, and I will see you on Monday. Bye bye.